Alright, this video is going to show the Automoblocks windshield for 2020. I'm using the drawings that we have from class. This is because I'm out for today, so because I'll have this video. So now everyone will have this video. But I'm going to start by making sure that I've got my project file selected. So I've got Automoblocks 2018. That's my project file. This is from a while ago. Check my location and make sure it's where I want to go. When I click open, I should see all my parts in there. Press cancel. Now I'm going to start a new document. Alright, and I'm going to save this as windshield underscore my initials. That's how you guys should be saving it. I believe that's what it says from the assignment. So save that. I'm not going to save this because I already have like 3 copies of it. Alright, so first of all, we're going to start a sketch. On this one, we're going to sketch from our front view first. And this drawing, okay, I have tried to come up with a couple different ways of doing this. I thought this was going to be the easiest way. It's not super easy. It's just not an easy part to make for our level of modeling. The good thing is all I really care about that it looks somewhat correct. We'll get the tangent constraint all the way across, which will allow us to do this fillet all the way around. And then the dimensions that I'm checking, I'm not checking your properties. I'm checking the dimensions from the front of this tab to the back of this tab, and from the left of this tab to the right of the tab. So we're just looking at that because that's how it interacts with the Automoblocks car. So that's what we'll be doing. I'm going to start by making this profile from the side, and we're going to extrude it across. And we start by making a line at the bottom, and then we're going to put 1, 2, 3 points out, and then we're going to use an arc, and then a spline to make this. So I'll go ahead and get going and show you how we're going to do this. Alright. Oops, I already started a sketch. Alright, so here's our line, our first line, and as I'm drawing it out, I'm going to let it constrain to a horizontal line. I'm going to put in 1.520 because that's the overall length of our windshield. And I like to organize my dimensions, so since this is the longest one, I'm going to put it up at the top. Now I'm going to take my point tool and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 points in. They don't have to be exact yet because we're going to dimension them now. So I'm going to go do my vertical dimensions first. So for this one, I do 0.322. This one is actually lower than that one. I'm just going to stick it over here because having it drag all the way across there would be kind of messy. And then the last one up top, we've got 0.498. I didn't put the decimal in there, that would have been a mess too. Alright, now I'm going to do my horizontal dimensions. So to this one, I've got 0.609 from here, and I'm just dimensioning to the point, so I'm choosing the point, and I do 1.275. Alright, and then this last one to the point, we've got 1.505. Alright, now I've got my 3 points. Actually, I have 5. They're here and here. I'm going to use an arc from here to here, and then the spline tool for the rest. So let's grab my arc tool, and I'm just going to put this in first and make sure it arcs in the right direction, and I'll come back and dimension it. Get that close. And then now before I move on to the spine, my spline, I'll do this. So the radius that we get there is 3. Here is 0.2. And then I'm going to grab my spline tool, which is behind the line, and I always want interpolation. I'm going to choose point, find my endpoint there, and click close. Okay, that's weird. That's just my radius. That was freaking me out. Okay, now if I do this and I finish my sketch, my depth of extrusion is 1.275. And I go here to do my fillet, and it tells me to do 0.25. Click on this. It only goes to here. Fillets need a tangency to cross from one line to another. So there's actually like a little kink here, so the fillet tool is not letting it go, and then I try and add more and it just messes up. So we got to go fix our sketch. I'm going to go open this, edit my sketch, and I'm going to grab my tangent tool. and I'm going to add a tangent here and here. So now that you guys see that move, that made it smooth. So now it'll go to here, but now we've got this, and when I go to tangent it, it says it'll over constrain the sketch. That's fine. It kind of stinks, but this is just how we have to do it. We have to delete the placement. We'll delete the horizontal and the vertical. Our point's going to stay pretty close to that, and then we'll tangent it. And it didn't move enough for us to be concerned. So now when I do finish sketch and I go to my fillet tool, now when I put it on there, it'll go all the way around. Okay, so that's how I know it's correct. Now I've got the top of my windshield looking very sleek and aerodynamic. So now I'm going to grab my shell tool, and the drawing says shell to 0.035. So 0.035, click on the bottom, and now I've got this shell. Okay. Now the base comes out of here, and the problem is if we make a sketch on this, then we have to extrude up and then we have to extrude down. So to make one extrusion, what I'm going to do is take my plane, I'm going to make an offset plane. So we're going to pull this out, and I'm going to use the dimension that's here, this 0.335. So I'm basically creating a plane at the bottom so I can create this sketch and then extrude it upwards. So I'm going to type in 0.335 here and press enter, and what that did was make a little plane below it, and now I'm going to start a sketch on that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, just draw a rectangle in there, avoid any constraints that I don't want, and I'm going to grab my vertical and horizontal constraint. I'm kind of fishing around to see which way the line, I want a horizontal line here. I'm going to choose that midpoint, and now my rectangle is centered. So I can grab my dimension and put 0.985, and when that dimensions, it's going to stay centered. Okay, so that's our width, or our height in the orientation of the drawing. Now the next part, we have some baseline dimensions, and it starts at the top. So from here to here is 0.338. From here to here is 1.108. So that's all I need from that to place my rectangle. My rectangle is now placed, it's fully dimensioned. I just got to add the other stuff. So first I'm going to grab my fillet, and there's 4 corners have a fillet of 0.063 or 0.0625. Either way, it's going to give you about the same result. So I'm going to go ahead and fillet those. Now we've got this little part that is inside of here, and their detail view shows that it's 0.025 wide. The radius would look weird if it wasn't offset as well. So our radius on the inside is not going to be 0.063. So to avoid doing math, what I'm going to do is press equal or enter to get that fillet to stay. I'm going to use my offset tool. I'll go here and I pull this in, and it makes a copy of that, and it's changing the radius as I do it. So 0.025, and now I've got that done. Right? Now I've got 6 little tabs that go around the outside, and so I've got to start dimensioning these 6 tabs, and I've got dimensions for them, but I'm going to use a lot of constraints to keep my dimensioning to a minimum. So first of all, I'm just going to do the front and the back. So I'm going to draw it. I'm going to take time to make sure that it's coincident to, actually that accidentally locked a constraint. So I'm going to make it coincident to the outside, but nothing else. Then I'm going to take my collinear tool, and I'm going to line those 2 up. So now they are even. Why did it do that? Okay, and I'm going to also take my horizontal constraint, and I'm going to line these up with the midpoint. Alright, and now I'm going to take my equal constraint. I'm going to make these equal, and I also want to make these equal, and that's going to say it's over constraint because I already used the collinear constraint. So now here, from here to here, it's 0.047, and from this width here is 0.025. And now these should be the same because of my constraints that I put on. Now I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to add 2 rectangles up there. Go ahead and let that collinear constraint go. And now I've got these rectangles in. So now I can use the same collinear constraints. So I'm going to say I want this to be collinear with that. So now those are lined up. But it changed it to this weird way, so I'm going to wait to do that. First, I'm going to use my equal. I'm going to get all of my widths and depths set up. So I'm going to say this width, I want it to be the same. I want this to be the same. I want this to be the same. And then this to be the same as this. So now they're all the same width. I'm going to do all the same height. So choose this and this. And those move together because of the collinear constraint. And here and here. Now those are the same. So now I'm looking pretty good. These should be lined up. But it's saying that it's not going to happen. Because I think what happened was when I did this, I accidentally constrained that side to that side. So to avoid a bunch of problems, I'm just going to erase this and redraw it. Oops. So now I got to go back and put my equal in. But that should be good now. So now it's lined up on the front. Now I got to place these, so I've got dimensions for my drawing. So from this line to the very front, it's 0.475. And that didn't move, so I'm going to have to go back and fix that in a second. And from here to the front, it's 0.970. Those move together, so I think that's okay. And then I'm just going to go and move these so I've got nice nested dimensions. And I can always check this if I grab my vertical constraint. I should have the lines lined up. This is not happening, so I need to add a collinear constraint here and here, and now it's lined up. Now I can finish my sketch and extrude, and I need to click all these little tabs all the way around, so I should have the 6 boxes constrained. And then this is my favorite part of this whole shape. I do 2, go in and click that face, and it extrudes right up to the bottom. Alright, so now you guys can change this material to whatever you want. So there's like all these cool colors, like clear plastic. I don't care, you can make it whatever color, because the only thing that matters is you press the measure tool, and so from the front to the back it should be 0.814, and from side to side should be 1.029. That's the finished shape. I hope this helps. This is the exact same demonstration that I'd give in class, so please utilize it and have fun modeling.